Many an unmanned spacecraft that explored the exciting realms of our galactic neighbors ended its service after a relatively short period of operation. In view of those probes, which fell victim to the extreme conditions on the examined celestial bodies, or were brought to burn up deliberately in planetary atmospheres at the end of their missions, one could think that the lifespans of the complex technical equipment are not particularly long, an assumption roundly disproven by NASA's two Voyager space probes. The unmanned spacecraft left our earthly home back in the year 1977 and still pull their courses through the gigantic breadths of the universe. Which milestones have already been reached within the framework of the decades-long Voyager 2 mission, into which remote areas the spacecraft has advanced in the meantime, and how experts succeeded a few months ago in restoring the previously broken contact with Voyager 2, you can find out in our video today. Excited about the groundbreaking space missions and breathtaking discoveries in the universe? Then remember to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell for regular updates on these fascinating topics. Feel free to show us with a thumbs up that we can keep you engaged with the content of our videos. Into the unknown. What may seem a bit strange from today's point of view was reality in the late 1970s. When Voyager 2 left our blue home planet on August 20th, 1977, it, just like its sister probe, was not subject to a special research focus on its mission. At that time, only very little information had been collected about the outermost representatives of our planetary system. Voyager 2's rather broad mission objectives, therefore, include the investigation of the atmospheres of Jupiter and Saturn, the analysis of the surrounding moons, the exploration of various magnetic fields, and the investigation of charged particles and plasma. As early as April 1978, the first technical problems arose, which repeatedly led to communication interruptions with the spacecraft. After the difficulties were brought under control, Voyager 2 reached the realms of the Jupiter system in April 1979. It was like a cosmic switch, because the unmanned spacecraft replaced its sister probe Voyager 1 practically seamlessly. In the course of the subsequent investigation, Voyager 2 succeeded in examining the previously newly discovered Jupiter rings, as well as the night side of the enormous gas giant. The moons Io, Ganymede, Callisto, Europa, and Amalthea were also examined during the exploration. By the time the NASA spacecraft set course for Saturn on August 5th, 1979, it had already sent more than 13,000 images of Jupiter and its steady companions to Earth. Exploring Saturn. Arriving at the iconic ringed planet, Voyager 2 quickly discovered that the celestial body is characterized by extreme wind speeds, especially near the equator. Measurements showed that the wind whips through Saturn's atmosphere at up to 1,600 feet per second. From the observed, strikingly high symmetry of the wind conditions, experts concluded that powerful currents are occurring in the interior of the ringed planet. Voyager 2 was also able to provide previously unknown information about the temperatures prevailing in the upper atmosphere of the gas planet. Thus, the value at the surface amounted to a frosty -310 degrees Fahrenheit. At the largest possible measuring depth, -202 degrees Fahrenheit were registered. Also, some light shows were registered, which remind us of our terrestrial auroras and were not fully decoded until today. Onward to Uranus. Afterwards, the earthly experts forged the plan to steer Voyager 2 to Uranus, although this was not planned at all in the initial stages of the mission. If the space probe had reached the ice giant, it would have spent 8 years in employment, corresponding to the double lifespan originally assumed for the space body. The extensive work on the ground necessary in order to maintain the Enterprise cost $30 million annually. Nevertheless, the mission extension was approved by NASA. Voyager 2 set course for Uranus and reached its orbit on November 4th, 1985. In the course of this cosmic advance, 10 previously completely unknown moons of the third largest planet in the solar system were discovered. The actual flyby of the planet took place in January 1986, with the probe approaching Uranus at up to about 50,600 miles. But this was still not the end of Voyager 2's mission. After all, there was one last celestial body to be examined in detail: the remote Neptune. The investigation of Neptune. 2.5 billion miles. That's how far Neptune is on average from our blue home planet. Due to the remote location of the ice giant, many unsolved mysteries of the bluish shimmering celestial body still had to be unraveled at that time. Today, thanks to the investigation of the space probe in 1989, we know that Neptune is also orbited by several rings. Before, the existence of the rings could only be assumed. The analysis of the magnetic field brought the conclusion that this is clearly weaker than with Uranus. Also in the regions around Neptune, 9 until then unknown moons were added to the star maps. In the case of the previously discovered satellite Triton, it was assumed in the run-up to the mission that the satellite had a diameter of 3,000 miles, but the data collected by Voyager 2 showed that the corresponding value was only about 1,500 miles. The characteristic white areas on Triton's surface are again due to the prevailing volcanism there. However, it is not boiling hot lava that is ejected into the air, but gigantic amounts of liquid nitrogen, which evaporates and freezes at temperatures of nearly -350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then falls back onto the surface of the moon in the form of white nitrogen snow. The observation phase in the Neptune system finally ended on October 2nd, 1989, during which time more than 9,000 images of the ice giant and its moons were taken. All that lay ahead of Voyager 2 were the gigantic expanses of space in the outermost regions of our solar system. But these too were and are to be explored within the framework of the project, which has now lasted more than 4 decades. Interstellar mission. Just like its sister probe, Voyager 2 is currently in the most remote areas of our galactic home. During this unique research flight, the mission will analyze the fringes of the solar system and the corresponding interstellar space. In the summer of 2007, the spacecraft finally crossed the so-called edge shockwave and advanced into the outermost region of the heliosphere. In those realms, the solar wind begins to mix with the interstellar medium. In November 2018, the time had finally come. The data transmitted by Voyager 2 suggested the pressing conclusion that the probe had reached the heliopause. This is the outermost boundary of the heliosphere, so by definition, interstellar space begins behind it. At the corresponding time, about 3 years ago, Voyager 2 was about 119 astronomical units away from the Sun. As a reminder, in astronomy, the astronomical unit, or AU for short, is the approximate mean distance between the Earth and the Sun. This is estimated to be about 90 million miles. Today, the corresponding distance between the central host star and the spacecraft is already given as more than 128 AU, which puts the two objects at around 12 billion miles apart. It's probable that Voyager 2 will stop its scientific surface around the year 2025. By the 2030s, the unmanned spacecraft will eventually be so far from our blue home planet that it can no longer be reached by our terrestrial instruments. So while the probable break in contact will be the final end between the probe and Earth, a few months ago, the situation was completely different. At that time, experts worked under high pressure to restore the radio communication to Voyager 2. But what had happened before? Month-long contact interruption. In May 2020, it became quiet. In fact, at that time, a month-long loss of contact between Earth and the remote Voyager 2 occurred. But how did it actually come to this galactic radio silence? Since the spacecraft, as already mentioned, is about to leave our home solar system, the signals emitted by Voyager 2 can only be detected in the southern hemisphere of our earthly home. In fact, Deep Space Station 43 in Australia is the only facility on our globe that can handle this endeavor. The problem? At the beginning of 2020, the Deep Space Station, which is equipped with parabolic antennas, had to be taken off the grid for important construction work, breaking signal with one of the most distant outposts of our species. The Canberra facility, however, was in dire need of a major overhaul. Some of its components, including the radio transmitter, had already been in use for 47 years at the time of installation. When the experts finally succeeded in completing the work on the Deep Space Station, they were anxious to see whether they would be able to re-establish contact with Voyager 2. Was the revised equipment working just as smoothly as before? Had the spacecraft possibly possibly been confronted with unexpected complications during the months of radio silence? Fortunately, researchers were quickly able to give the all-clear regarding these major concerns. Voyager 2 received the transmitted commands as usual and immediately sent back a confirmation signal. We're interested in your opinion. What do you think about the fascinating Voyager 2 mission, which has been on task for 44 years now? Just write us your thoughts, your suggestions, and your feedback to today's post in the comments. Finally, feel free to take a look at the other exciting videos on our channel, which you can access by clicking on one of the images in the credits now. Thanks for your interest, take care, and we'll see you next time.